Hello everyone! Welcome back to Ace Attorney Justice for All. Well, I think it's pretty obvious who is behind this case. It's just a matter of figuring out how the heck they did it now. And my current theory is that there was a fake murder on a different day to throw off Mr. Kudo and give him like a different testimony than what actually happened on the real day of the murder. Maggie is saying that the witness there was a girl, probably Viola. Also, I have water with me today because my voice was dying recording this last time, and I don't know why, because it's never happened before. But it was just like pain reading all those lines, especially Kudo. But I am prepared. I have water this time. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, let's get into it. Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Maggie.
So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery.
That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
Well, I mean, we know who it is.
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes.
No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination.
Why don't I believe you?
It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat.
Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
I still can't get over the fact that she just gets to wear the maid uniform all the time.
Hey, pal.
Hey, Detective Gumshoe.
What's stressing Maggie out? She doesn't need that.
How did you know that she was stressed?
I was watching through the doorway. It wasn't weird or anything, I swear.
Oh.
You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will ya, pal? Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not a million years, pal. Don't tell me you don't remember this. Oh yeah, we gave that to you to test what was in it, right?
Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles.
This is the small bottle that turned up in Tribulations' kitchen a couple days ago.
Wow, look at all these little bottles.
Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor.
Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others.
Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either.
And it doesn't smell.
We finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it the poison?
I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication.
Medication?
Maybe it's his ear medication.
Yeah, I know it. For ears. Topical use only, apparently.
For ears? You mean...
Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum.
What was Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen?
If it's topical, but it's for your eardrum, how do you apply that? Because I would assume you're like applying it to the eardrum, right? How else would you apply it? But that sounds like it would make your eardrum even worse because you're not supposed to stick things very far in your ears. God, he really looks like Markiplier. I'm probably the only one that thinks that. It's just like something in the face. Anyways, the victim's ear medicine, found covered in unidentified fingerprints in the kitchen.
What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that?
Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but...
That's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence.
Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it?
Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done. Or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. Because it is. His name's not Phoenix Wright. Who's our witness? Please don't tell me it's Armstrong. Hi, Gatto.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
My coffee's ready and waiting as always, Your Honor.
Very good. I'm glad to hear that, Gatto. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo, and it sucked. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee.
See that haircut? Could definitely be Viola.
However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems.
The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. but according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand.
Thank you, Mr. Gatto. Stating the obvious, I was going to say that. Stole my thunder. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick?
What is it, Gatto? Freaking song. I don't think this song played at all last trial. Like in the first part of this trial, I don't think it did. Ha. Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it.
How profound. You've lost me already, Mr. Gatto. I'm not good with big, profound ideas like that.
Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You gotta change with the times. That's one of my rules.
Are you implying that you resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles.
The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here, though he was doing that too. He was throwing us off the scent. No, he wasn't. He genuinely thinks that what he's saying is correct. He's not. There's no way he's like in on it. And today I'll prove it.
Very well, I look forward to it. Let the first witness take the stand.
Please don't be Armstrong. Oh my god, it's Armstrong! Great, I apologize for this entire first half of this trial, which, by the way, did I mention this trial is now, it's like split in two halves. We're gonna have a part 1, part 2, and then the case will be over. Anyways, for this half, I apologize for not, like, my brain breaking, trying to read his lines. God, how am I gonna figure out what to press him on when I can barely understand what he's saying? It's the way it's typed out. I can't. Ugh. And you are? Oh, bonjour, everyone. I am Jean Armstrong, the owner and, head chef of La Tribulations restaurant, Chante. To a great start.
Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? Why?
Why are we being weird about this? Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am la pert and perky gentleman, non? Well, you know what? You're asking for his pronouns. You know what? I'll respect a judge. Anyways, on the day of the incident, you were in Tribulations' kitchen. Isn't that right? With you, monsieur? Huh? Everything feels right. Oh, with you, monsieur, everything feels right? Trying to flirt with Gatto? Ha. Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy?
Very well, your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations.
We volunteers. When it all happened, there was just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remembered I was experimenting with some new art deco that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. The cup, the earpiece, and the glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse. None? Would have seen everything in reverse? Can I look at him? There he is. He would have seen everything, but he didn't see everything in reverse, right? The cup, the earpiece. I don't know. I don't think he said he saw the glasses reversed, though. I don't think he did. So would that mean I have to present... Would I present literally that profile on this statement? I really... He didn't see the glasses in reverse, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Mirror? Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. And suddenly the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it.
That would explain the coffee cup and the eardrum conundrum. Or earpiece, not eardrum. Don't mind me. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front.
What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. I'm not ready. I haven't had 16 cups of coffee like Gatto.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
I think I got it. I either got it, or I'm horribly wrong, or the third option is I'm right but for the wrong reason again. Okay. So, I'm going to present you. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we?
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt.
So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side.
Exactement! You see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so hard, non?
Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head?
Yeah, I think I'm right. I think I was right. I'm getting a little mixed up in my brain because I can't fully remember I know he just said Kudo's, whatever. I'm getting mixed up, that's the point. I think I'm right.
Order, order. Mr. Wright is correct. He's amazing as usual. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye.
Yeah, okay. I'm right. Thank you, Judge, for putting it in simple terms. What?
How bitter. Trite, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time.
Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different?
You don't understand the way the witness thinks.
How he thinks.
You remember this, I presume?
The I broke the vase, sorry, apology Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony. Or haiku. I think it's a haiku again.
Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit. Other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg?
Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece.
And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear, do you hear? His left ear.
So this is your big objection? This is your big evidence that, it would just struck him so much that things got muddled?
Ha, well, Trite.
Ugh. That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
Wow, I really thought he was old CD for a minute there. God is good.
God, he's good at everything. Ah!
Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of contradiction you found is just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears.
Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of la restaurant. The mirror. Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably? La mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant dividing the two halves. No one noticed the mirror there? What? There's only one seat from which you could have seen an image of la victim. What about the crime photo? There's a photo of, from one of the seats, right? Yeah. But, yeah, in this seat, they're sitting on the other side, and they can see it. Right? Right? So you see where the witness is? The seat, if you scoot him down to the next seat, that is, where the picture is taken from.
That was la seat at the table next to la victims. That was where the old man was sitting.
I don't think it was.
After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
I can see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror.
What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. Let me drink my coffee. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again.
I hate that guy.
You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that?
Volunteers, of course.
Can't read this stuff.
Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please.
Yeah. So maybe that's not right because he said he moved the mirror. He didn't move it. I don't know. I'm gonna go with my original explanation, even though I still think it's wrong because it's like, oh, he moved the mirror. I don't know. Okay, that was the seat at table. Wait, I'm struggling to read what this is even saying.
That was la seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting.
What? I don't think it was. Did they not take the photo from where he was sitting? You know? I still think it's this.
This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor.
The crime photo?
Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist.
Okay, so my logic is wrong. Once again, what should not exist? Let me look at this. What shouldn't exist? I don't know. I don't know. My logic was off. But I got it right, but my logic was off.
What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Please explain it to me as well, Mr. Wright.
Should not exist. Huh. Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite.
Shut up, Gato. That wasn't even a good insult.
Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement.
Oh, you're gonna make me pick it out, aren't you? What shouldn't exist?
What is the something that should not exist?
What? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Is it the vase? Is it the vase? Is it this? Because he said he knocked the vase over, and if this was his table, it would have been knocked over. I think that's it.
I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture.
The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony?
Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table.
That's right.
Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence.
Well, his haiku, right? When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry.
There was one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting.
Which means he couldn't have been sitting at that table. So again, I was right that he couldn't have been sitting at that table, but logic, off. It's a skill of mine.
And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
I think he's lying about the mirror. Or maybe he's not. And it has something to do with the fact that maybe this crime was a fake. The real one happened later. Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Trey Bien that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie.
Mon Dieu! Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Unfortunately, Mr. Gatto, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary. In his own words, I did not touch anything else except the mirror.
Gah. Angrily drink your coffee.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
Sniffle.
Interesting.
I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day.
In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear?
Ha. You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Wright, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it.
Are you gonna be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick?
There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya.
What do you mean?
Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table, and the other customer wasn't Kudo. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. Where did I get a C? Don't know. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up.
Because it's a different day.
Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple.
He made a mistake. The ear doctor made a mistake. The victim was a phony. There was a fake death.
This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up.
And what is that?
The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events.
What?
Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg.
I wonder who the imposter was, though.
Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake.
Sip your drink. Puh. I love it. She's like, I need to take a sip in order to do a spit take.
Order in the courtroom. Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom. And kill you all.
Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
What did you say? I've never been disrespected so much in my own court, and I have been whipped.
Wright, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup?
Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo.
Get real, Wright. Why would anyone want to do that?
Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was
The servant girl who brought him a Javachino, but she put something into it. That's the servant girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
It's so hard to believe, but
there was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee.
Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening.
He was in on it.
that's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct?
Oh la la, this is most difficult for me.
No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath after all. Was there, in fact, a phony Très Bien that day? Oh, a phony at Très Bien. You had a fake restaurant, Très Bien too. The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened.
The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. I'm so excited to hear it. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day.
Oui.
The victim, Monsieur Elk, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There was no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Mon Elk became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. Then there was no time for a phony to do the acting.
Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all.
I don't know what it says. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. It is punishable by death. Not really, but to me it should be, because you always make me late for mahjong when you witnesses do this. I will decide how to punish you later.
Oui.
For now, we will hear your cross-examination, Mr. Wright, if you please.
He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination.
He was in on it.
Probably not because he wanted to be, probably because he's in debt. Has to do what those people want. Okay, so we came alone. Then he arrived not long after him. How long after him? By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
Oui, he comes often for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's like shit. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more.
So, old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail? Oh, I should ask what time, because of when they announced the lottery. Oh, look at me stumbling upon stuff randomly again. Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oh, no. I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe we were told by a witness yesterday.
The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir.
The crime was reported by an old man. I'm confused.
Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness?
The incident happened around 20 minutes after he arrived, so the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10. None?
Just after 2, huh?
Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful.
Ahaha! I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? I am just that good. The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony.
Oui, monsieur judge. Everything I do it for you.
Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Ha! Ha ha! I'm so smart. Look at me, Phoenix. Aren't I smart? I know multiple languages. I'm bilingual.
I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood.
He's even humming a song to himself.
Just after 2 p.m. Okay, then... Gosh, how do we figure out when they... Okay. Monday at 1:30 p.m. Should I present it on this then? I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong.
I don't know how you even say that. Koi? What do you mean?
At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket.
Wait, that must be la show Mon Elk was listening to. Is it supposed to be monsieur?
I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I had my smart moment, but now I'm being dumb again.
I wonder. You said the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct?
Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now.
Maybe the crime didn't happen, like, on a different day? Maybe it was still the same day somehow? I'm confused.
I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Get to the point, Wright, if you have one.
That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m., and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life.
It's on the air at 1:30.
Now, supposedly the victim made some noise when it was announced that he won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time.
Maybe the fake crime happened after the real one. And then that's how Kudo would have been the one to call the police.
No! This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder.
Yeah. I was on the assumption that, like, they did a fake one before the real murder. But no. There's a fake one the same day after the murder.
Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Trabian that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the timing discrepancy?
Quite a performance, Wright. You're almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song.
What is this, Music Theory 101?
I like expressions. Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain, then, where the real Glen Elg is?
I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, is he dead, like in the kitchen? At that time, the real Glen Elg was already dead.
That's certainly the obvious conclusion.
Thank you, Trent. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say.
What?
Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to?
The missing corpse?
According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. And that customer was the phony Glen Elg. Then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim?
Probably in the kitchen.
The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to the examination by the court, you must provide us with the proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body?
Yes, Your Honor.
No conjecture, Trent. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden.
Evidence?
What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden?
I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead.
Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Elk concealed?
Inside Trabian. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the bottle must have been hidden somewhere inside Trabian.
And that could explain how his ear medicine ended up in the kitchen too.
Interesting. Where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright? Please do.
Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside Trabian is the kitchen. The body was hidden here.
I see.
Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location?
Evidence? Oh! What I literally just said. His medicine.
Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle?
None. None. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me.
Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright?
Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Trabian. By me, I found it.
Quite. But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils.
But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication.
What kind of medication medication.
I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day.
Ah, yes, that.
You can't be serious.
The defense has had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elg.
Blah.
Glenn Elg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant's kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen?
Mon Dieu.
Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back.
None.
How dare you, Armstrong?
Order, order. This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenelg?
Never! I could not do such a horrible thing. No. What? Oh. How are you shaking the ground by drinking coffee?
Mr. Gatto.
The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules.
Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? I think you're well past your 17, buddy.
Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup.
Is it coming at me? Or is it- oh, it's going at, Armstrong.
Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient French?
French? What's a French? I can't read French, I don't know French.
Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor.
Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor in Spanish. I'm not just bilingual, I'm trilingual. Aren't you impressed, Mr. Wright?
Sure, Judge.
I'm only gonna ask you this once. Did you do it?
None! None! Absolutely none!
Let's hear it. You've got one shot, right, Gramps?
Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Gatto's coffee mug awaits you. I am giving him permission to do it. As is my gavel and my laser vision.
Oui, it is clear.
What do they always say in the movies? Got a bad feeling about this?
Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
The confession.
It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice.
Tigray, he's the man.
I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it, you must believe me.
You were forced by who?
I cannot say, or I will be erased.
Let's try a different question, then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table?
There was... There was another man.
I knew it.
Maggie was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright.
There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer.
But what if I just present Tigray on that statement? Then he'll have no choice. Be like, hey, was it this guy? A man. Wait, I hit the wrong button. Back. Present. Flippy. Where is he? He's over here. There he is.
Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you have been referring to.
Ah!
Who is that? He is so orange. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh, I don't know, maybe about a month ago in this very courtroom? This man is Furio Tigray. He's the manager of a loan office called Tenderlender. There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore. Mr. Armstrong, I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tigray, at least not while he had this on you.
Yeah, I forget what exactly it is. This.
A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you.
Oui, it is as you say.
Mr. Armstrong!
The tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen.
I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigray.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well?
None. I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It was despicable.
Mr. Gatto, you will summon this Furio Tigray as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow.
Now he's gonna have him somehow already?
30 minutes. That's all I need. I'm just that good.
What?
The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more.
I'm going to be late. Don't understand. I try to end these things early and no one ever lets me.
How the...
Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way.
Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Gatto. We will resume once Mr. Tigray is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. The slides!
To be continued.
Saving time. It wasn't so bad with the Armstrong lines. He didn't talk as much as I thought. Okay, interesting. I was like on the right track with there being like a fake crime, but I just thought like it had happened like maybe the day before the real murder. But yeah, that I guess the one thing that was still nagging me was like, but then Kudo went to call the police. So it happened after the real murder. Interesting. Next time we're gonna be able to finish up this case. We'll be on to case number 4 after that. That's crazy. I feel like this case went by in the blink of an eye. I wonder if Viola's gonna like stand by his side or if she's gonna throw him under the bus now that she knows like he doesn't really care about her. And it'll be interesting to figure out all the little details of how they pulled this off. And apparently Maggie must have been passed out way longer than we originally thought. If the murder happened, she passed out. They had like all this time to set up a fake murder afterwards. Like they are so lucky Maggie didn't wake up. But anyway, for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!